As a new principal to the school, I originally thought that I could really suspend my way and expel my way to success. Like if we just sent a message, if we just put enough kids out, I really, in my fundamental being, thought that would work.
In 2012, the Board of Education approved a revised student code of conduct that was designed to put greater focus on corrective and instructive practices and to reduce the number of punitive out-of-school suspensions and expulsions. We know that suspensions result in lost instructional time, adversely impact attendance, adversely impact academic achievement, and weaken a child's connection to the school.
When you try to remove somebody from the classroom, it should be a safety concern. We have students who are being suspended who are totally safe, but need extra resources, need extra help.
You can't learn if you're not there. And they also, there's studies linking suspension to incarcerations, and it's much more likely that a kid is suspended and repeatedly suspended that they'll end up in jail. And it's much more likely that if they're suspended even once in 9th grade, they're more likely to drop out.
Now curbing conflicts in high school. Hari Srinivasan looks at a new approach to discipline that replaces suspensions with conversations.
In Aurora, Colorado, Principal Matthew Willis welcomes the recent changes at Hinckley High School, where 75% of the 2,000-plus students qualify for free and reduced meals. Willis says student fights are down and respect among classmates is up.
Last year, we had a 48% reduction in out-of-school suspensions.
So good morning, thank you for being here.
The turnaround, he says, began when Hinckley High started using a form of discipline called restorative justice.
Every single year over the last 3 full years that we've been doing restorative justice, you see significant declines in defiance, disobedience, and use of profanity.
This is called a talking circle, so when we have problems in the school, we come together and talk about it.
We've been developing the use of restorative practice for over a year now at Carolina Community School. We've seen a significant change in pupil behaviour. One indicator for that might be the approximately 90% reduction in fixed term exclusion from school.
Restorative is that you bring back the kids, if it's student with student, or if it's student with staff, you restore the relationship. So if there's conflict or wrongdoing, we come together and we talk about it and we try to heal the harm that was caused from the incident.
We implemented restorative justice practices about 5 years ago, and I think it's just changed our environment as a whole. It's impacted the way that students interact with one another and relationships and how they resolve conflict. I think it's changed the discourse, so how we kind of refer to one another and how we think about one another. With restorative justice, students now have, especially with peace circles, students now have a place to go in which to really resolve their conflict in a really peaceful way.
When I'm in a peace circle, I feel relieved because I'll be able to talk about how I feel and people will be able to understand me more and be able to see where I'm coming from.
Anything that we've put into place, in my opinion, hasn't affected the school climate as much as restorative practice.
Restorative justice practice can help you by getting down to the main core of the problem. Everything starts at home. You don't know what situation they're coming from. I have friends who come from homes that do not have mother or father, or they're taking care of their own sibling. Just getting down to asking them how their day went can be a whole new meaning to their life.
The restorative justice circles go beyond the dean's office. Peer mentoring classes use role-playing to teach students how to conduct circles on their own.
How does it make you feel?
Sophomore Nice Smith thinks the circles bring better results than suspension.
It used to be like you just get sent home for 5 days, but that doesn't resolve nothing. You just sit there and you come back with the same anger.
I can actually use the pupils who have been trained in restorative practice to actually kind of manage the behaviour in the classroom for me. And I know that sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but it's great because they actually take responsibility for it. The other pupils have respect for those particular pupils, and it works so incredibly well.
Talking circles are a great teaching tool because every day when the students walk in, they know they're going to get their hands on the same talking piece that they use every day, and they're going to have the floor and they'll be able to share their opinions and feelings with the rest of the class. And the end result is a classroom with a real sense of community where they feel like a team. It allows me as an instructor to have my audience when I'm delivering the lessons plan.
Even supporters see the process as one of many approaches, and skeptics question if stopping down class time for circles limits learning. For his part, Principal Willis remains a strong believer in the approach and is sharing the school's method with districts across the state.
I think that restorative justice practices have changed the lives of my peers by giving them the opportunity to talk about their problems instead of just
fighting it out.
I think that restorative practice can help me in later life because it's a great skill and a great tool that can be transferred to anywhere. So it can help you solve your own relationships and help others fix their relationships. I think that now all we can do is just try to keep it going and train more people. So hopefully we'll get to a point where almost everyone's trained and everyone will have this tool, which has been so useful to me.